Hey everyone, we're back playing our Jammy HB deck. Well, I shouldn't say our, it's beyoken's. We're up against Gabe today. You don't see him too often. It's usually Andy rebirth into Gabe, or, you just don't play Gabe. Um, this hand is okay. It has money. It doesn't have an ender on ice, so it has Architect. I think we try for better. And this is similar to worse. So we'll get this up and we'll fire down the Fairchild onto HQ and I think just gain a credit. Ichi could be okay. Fairchild's actually pretty decent. It might be nice to land a brain damage if possible. Of course, Temujin. So that's on R&D. We need something better than Ichi to be able to dissuade them from that. And a gamble. Okay, so they're not going to go all in on it. What did they see? Architect. Okay. That is pretty nice. So let's go the Architect onto R&D. And we could go an Architect onto a new server as well. Or we could play against traditional Gabe. Architect. Yeah, Architect on HQ isn't the worst. We need to play against good old-fashioned criminal. I can't remember the last time I played against Gabe. Mongoose. At least it's still going to be kind of expensive for them. So it costs them 3, they'll get 4. That's okay by me. Cyberdex, probably irrelevant. But they've no Desperado down, so that will hamper them in the early game. So we got our Cyberdex. Turing is fantastic. And do we credit or do we put an Ash? Let's put the Ash. They're going to run it. Do we care? We can res it. Or we can let him through, trash for 3. Yeah, I think we'll let him trash. At least this way they don't know what they need to attack our scoring server. And again, they don't have Desperado, so they're just costing themselves money. And they keep taking these single shots, which I'm okay with. I mean, eventually it will work, but for the moment, works out probably better for us. So hopefully we can find a smaller Fairchild. Jackson's okay. Let's install Cyberdex over here, just to waste our time if nothing else, and gain a credit. I think I want the Ichi over here. There's the Desperado. Right. So now this finally makes a bit more sense. Gets them a little more injection of cash. I'm surprised though with Gabe they haven't pressured here at all. So if they do run here, this is probably the better res. Nothing but architects. Okay, we'll try and find something a bit better. We can of course put a second architect up here. isn't the worst idea in the world. We could also install this into a new server. We'll get rid of the NAPD for the moment. We'll res this. And we can install the other architect here. So now we deny them their last 4. And yeah, it's a pretty good situation for us, I think. Biotic in hand, drawing a beta test here would be fantastic. Whoops, I thought it was a sneak door. But apparently not. But, oh well, they've spent 4 on it. Not the worst thing in the world. So yes, read the log. And the trash and ash as well, not bad. But this is better for us. So we'll slam this out the door. And we will fire it. Hopefully get ourselves something good. Not as good as it could have been. Ichi on scoring server. Or Ichi here. I think we put it on archives. So not as good as we hoped it would be, but it's a 5 cost piece of ice, which isn't bad. Mongoose can of course go through it, but it'll cost them a fair bit. And it means that they can't just sneak door for free and 2 credits. Yeah, that seems good to me. Next turn we can hedge fund Ichi onto scoring server. Maybe draw first to see what our options are. Crash space. So we get another biotic, which is pretty nice. Could go Turing. Question is, what are they using as a cold gate breaker? It cost it 2 for... Yeah, it's expensive for them. So let's put this on server 1. And things are starting to go well now. We have good piece of ice around. Money's a little tight because we haven't really had to res too much stuff just yet. Wow, lots of drawing going on. So sneak door, shut down. Glad to see that always. Another mongoose gone, which is risky. And Christian on HQ could sink them. And all our biotic labours. So this onto HQ, you pretty much know what that is when you're playing Gabe. What do we want back? We want Jackson, NAPD, Ash maybe? Or Hedge? So they have 3 credits to get through this. We'll show them the bad news over here though. So they have to break it. And then they can't do anything. So, perfect. Ooh, do we go for it again? If we miss it, then HQ is very exposed. If we get it though, how much piece of ice have we got? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gonna do a bit of this in, check the deck builder. Look at all these terrible decks that I play. 17. So we've seen half our ice, there or thereabouts. Worst case scenario, we whiff completely. It's not a great idea. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah dear. I think we just take credits. We need to leave ourselves in a position where we can raise something. So they're coming for HQ. This will cost them 3. This costs them... well, they just have to click through, so it's not that exciting. Who would have thought there'd be so many architects around the place? So now I feel better about firing it. If I see a big piece of ice here, I'll be really unhappy. Okay, restructure's good. So instead of that... oh dear. I think I just money up. I probably don't need the Turing. I'm hoping to just be able to restructure this turn. Run on archives, okay. And we will shuffle this time. Which means we won't be firing our beta test, but it could be worse. And let's go Ash. Oh yeah, this on server 1 seems good. And we'll put this into server 1 as well. Because now we have inside job protection, we have siphon protection. It's a pretty good board state. If we draw a Jackson, that'd be fantastic, because we can try and make a beta test safe, but it's getting to a point where it's not all that tempting. And unfortunately with the toll booth in hand. So I think we just rock on out to the finish. Criminals are more reliant on mongoose these days, and as we're seeing here, can result in them being locked out. And yeah, in fact, they concede, which I understand. Ditching the second mongoose was very risky, and they were just so poor on financial terms. We got our HQ solidified nice and early, and yeah, just every server became so much less tempting. So let's see. Beta test would have been okay fire. The agendas would have been pretty rapid, so we score this out, fire this in, score it out, take a turn, take money, and then yeah, seal the deal. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll try this deck a little more. I'm not entirely sure though. I think it's I've come as far as I can with it. And if you have any ideas for decks, things you'd like to see in action, please let me know.